what do you think are the most important key data points? And besides that part, how do you make sure that you separate the noise? Because at least in customer success, we tend to measure everything. So we want to start by measuring everything, by aggregating a lot of data sources, and then we don't know what does the data tell. So it feels like a paradox to me.
It is. However, and I'm going to start with the fact that everything is contextual. So, yes, we do have access to a lot of data. And yes, a lot of it is noise, but it goes back to what I said. It was focusing on the right metrics. So, when I started my career in customer success, we were in what I call customer success 1.0. And it was really all about utilization for our customers and occasionally making sure that they renewed. But we figured out that if they didn't renew, we weren't going to make any revenue. So we shifted. The problem is those metrics are not relevant to our customers. So you can give me all the data you want on usage. You can give me all the data you want on sentiment. I will still have a customer that will churn and I will still potentially not grow revenue. So in my mind, it needs to be a shift for the right data. But what happens, and you can talk to other individuals in other companies, but I've spoken to quite a few individuals in other companies in both C-level as well as individual contributors. That noise, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, is not accurate data. So as long as I do not have accurate data, I cannot give accurate reporting on the revenue that we can potentially generate. I cannot provide the accurate customer insight so that I can drive value for my customers. So what I need to be able to do is contextually figure out what data is most salient, both for the organization in which I work and the teams that I lead, and more importantly, what data is most salient for the customers that I'm trying to provide value. So how do I determine that? It really is contextually dependent upon what I'm trying to offer to my customer and what I'm trying to achieve for my company. So I hope that answered your question.
You also have a framework on how to identify it. Is it based on asking the right questions? Is it based on how do you let guide the audience a bit, offer more insights?
So from my perspective, I focus on narrowing that as a way to reduce the volume on that noise. The contextual piece that I'm talking about is what am I trying to achieve for my customers? People constantly throw out the term ideal customer profile. So if I have an ICP for the particular company in which I'm leading a team, then my way of augmenting or reducing that noise is by honing in on specifically what is salient for that ideal customer. So if we're looking at growth customers and we really want to grow those customers, then I need data that gives me insight into what a particular customer cohort looks like and what the value is going to be realized from a revenue perspective from that cohort. But then I also want to be able to see what are the value drivers for that particular cohort. Is it increasing the onboarding, increasing the time to value for that customer? So whatever data supports whatever that ICP is, that's the data that I'm going to focus on. And that helps me reduce the noise for all the data that is not relevant to that particular profile for the cohort that I'm looking at.